Hello, welcome to the Wholeness and Wellness podcast. I'm your host, Megan Toops, founder of Libra Living Wellness Limited, and this is episode 9, and it's called Mindfulness Matters, honoring the quiet moments that help us reflect. And my guest today is Christine Johnson. So, welcome, Christine. I'm happy to have you on today's episode. I met Christine, let's see, it's almost been a year because we took that business class. When was it? April or May of last? Okay. Oh my gosh. Like that's, wow. The time has flown by. So yes, me and Christine met in a business class for a program that we're both in. And we had a week-long business class, and I met her through there, and her background, or she's doing wellness related things. So we kind of connected, and yeah, that's kind of it. We've stayed in touch and been doing things together. But yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what it is you do?
Sure. So my name's Christine Johnson, and the business that I got into with the same program as Megan is I'm into teaching yoga at the workplace. So this is new for me. It's something that I've done for a long time, but it's new for me to pursue full time. So what I do is I bring yoga and mindfulness to the office. So it's a mobile yoga service. I come to their work environment either before their shift, at lunchtime, or at the end of the day. And it's a 1 hour class. We do breath work, we do mindfulness, meditation, and of course, some yoga poses. But I keep it really gentle, beginner friendly, because every business has different levels. So whether you're an advanced yogi or you've never done yoga before, I really keep it that everybody can join in and enjoy the class.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, yes. And what is your business called again? Like Soul in Motion, was it?
Soul in motion. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Cool, cool. And I always have the guests say a fun fact or something interesting about yourself.
So I'll give you both. So something interesting about myself is that my big passion as well is pole fitness. So you can probably see in the back, I've got some
Mhm.
hammocks, some yoga hammocks and some poles. So I am a dancer. I perform, I do performances. I've competed internationally and I also teach. So I teach private classes at home. Um, and actually, I had thought about this one because I
Okay.
knew you were going to ask me. A fun fact about me, and I had to ask my hubby what he thought, if he thought it was a
Mhm.
good one. And he's like, yeah, that's a good one. Is that back in the day, I did some acting and I was in a horror kind of spoof movie
Okay.
in Plaster Rock and I got sawed in half.
Wow.
So they
Cool.
put my body under a table, like my
Yeah.
lower body was under the table and upper
Yeah.
body was like above.
Okay. Yeah.
And they used a real saw and my fake body, they made fake guts and
Oh,
they
really?
sawed me and they gave me some like Halloween blood capsules and I had to
Yeah.
like chew them and then spit at the camera guy. So that's kind of a fun fact, right?
That
Nobody
is
knows this about
fun.
me. I don't really tell a lot of people because
Okay.
it was a pretty low budget film. I mean,
Yeah.
my close family and friends have watched it with me, but it's not something I advertise a ton because it's like.
I see. I love asking this question because like I get very surprised like by what people say, like, so and it's, I think, oh, okay, it's something like I might know or whatever, but even my sister said something and I was like, what? I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Cool.
idea to ask that question. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
It's a not so zen part of my
Yeah,
past.
that's okay. I like it. So yeah, so today's topic, we're talking about mindfulness matters. Um, so we'll kind of jump in. When I think of, being mindful, it's just remembering to take those moments for ourselves to kind of reflect. Or, I mean, I also think of taking those moments to kind of quiet our minds and reflect, um, because we need those moments to kind of pause you know, because life is hectic and, our days get filled with worries and stresses. So when we make it a priority to have those mindful moments, I feel we're able to be more equipped to handle those life stresses and worries and things like that. Whereas if we're constantly just go, 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 it's like it's overwhelming. And then we almost are forced to take a break because either maybe we get sick or we just are wiped out. But if we, bring in this mindfulness or this practice of mindfulness more, then I think, yeah, like we kind of promoting my business here, but we bring ourselves back to balance. And yeah, we're just able to be better equipped at handling what life throws at us. Right? um so Christine, why don't you start us off with what mindfulness looks like for you on a daily basis?
So great that you led with talking about, how when we're in autopilot and life is busy, and whether it's work or kids or what you got going on in your life that
Mhm.
keeps you on autopilot. I myself did go through a physical, health challenge where I got hospitalized. It was a whole reality check because it was like I was rocking at my career and I had to take a step back for a week in the hospital bed to realize
Hmm.
that I really wasn't happy and that I was on autopilot and I wasn't having enough mindfulness in my life,
Yeah.
even though I've done yoga for years and years and years and I've been teaching it. I wasn't living it myself. I was giving it to everyone else but me.
Hmm.
So for me, a big step was leaving the corporate world and starting this business to help other people in their offices find mindfulness and find that break and that pause in their workday and to like really be still and be present. So day to day mindfulness for me, and this is something that I've been doing now for a while. So it's a little something that I hope I can inspire someone else out there to do too. I've always loved outdoors. I'm a summer girl though. I'm all about the beach. I love the heat. And
Hmm.
every winter, especially when I worked a corporate job, I just really struggle in the winter because I have, a little bit of seasonal depression that comes
Hmm.
along. I get sluggish. I get feeling like I just want to hibernate. But this winter, because my lifestyle has changed and I'm not in the corporate world and I'm not rushing in and out of my car in high heels and office where I'm able to wear comfortable clothes now, doing yoga full time,
Yeah.
I've been able to really slow down this winter and actually enjoy the outdoors.
Mm. Mm.
So, what I've been doing like every single day for quite some time now, I'd probably say like 4 or 5 months that I've been doing this consistently. Not every single day, but I really try. And I have a hard time like feeling like my day starts off good without it because I'm hooked now. Some
Yeah.
people do like the cold shower and that's their thing.
Yeah.
Like my hubby, he does a cold shower every
Yeah.
morning. That's his mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
That's how he gets present because like when you're freezing in the cold water,
Yeah.
like you're not going to be thinking about anything else. You're going to be in that moment breathing. And so for me, I tried the cold shower. I like cold plunges here and there, but every single morning, especially in the winter, not my thing. So I've made a commitment to myself to get outside. So I get up, I get out of bed, and I'm mindful from the moment that I get up. So even when I open my eyes, I still have tendencies to want to check my phone. We all
Mhm.
are working on that, right? That's a hard one to
Definitely.
kick.
Yeah.
But I've been putting my phone on airplane mode when I sleep.
Okay. Yeah.
And in
I
the
did that.
morning, it's still on airplane mode. And I tell myself, until I go outside and I get some fresh air and I go for my walk, I'm not turning it off. Okay. So I leave it on airplane mode. So it starts in bed. I wake up, I open my eyes. Sometimes I'm tempted to check my phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I
Yeah.
take it off airplane mode and I check it. But the goal is to not and to get up. And then I just really take my time getting up. The first thing I do is I open my blinds to let the light in, unless it's still dark out. Sometimes if I'm up earlier, it's still dark out. So I kind of just embrace the darkness until I see the sun coming.
Yeah.
But as soon as possible, what I want is I want to have natural light So I want to get some natural light from outside, the sunlight.
Mhm.
And what that does is our circadian rhythm. Because it really helps if you get up at the same day every day and you get that sunshine and that sunlight. It's amazing how much it helps you sleep better at night. Because
Mm.
then when it gets dark out, your body naturally gets tired, gets ready to
Yeah.
shut things down. And in the morning now, as soon as the sun's up, I'm up. And it's
Yeah.
just because of this little routine that I've started.
Yeah.
So from the moment of me even getting dressed, like I get out of bed, I put my socks on, and the winter was the perfect time for me to start this mindfulness practice because you really have to bundle up before you go for your walk.
Yeah.
So I use that as a whole experience. Like I
Okay.
make that part of the experience. As I'm bundling up, I think of how grateful I am when I put my warm socks on my feet. I think of how lucky I am to have this comfy, cozy sweatsuit. I
Mm.
get dressed really warm and I'll put my toque on, my mittens, my jacket, I zip up. But when I'm doing all that, there's no distractions because everyone's still sleeping, right? So
Mm.
I'm doing this and I'm even paying attention to the sound of the zipper because I zip
Okay.
my jacket. Like every step is so quiet
Yeah.
and it's so relaxing. And I know that I'm going out there outside and that I'm going to go in the trail and there's not going to be many people. I might walk by a few people in the trail in the morning, but
Yeah.
usually early morning, I'm the only one out there.
Yeah.
So it all starts in the house when I'm getting dressed, and it's about being so grateful that I get to put all this warm, cozy clothes on, and that I know when I go outside, I'm going to be safe and cozy, and the weather, it's not going to matter. Whereas I used to have a mindset when I was in hustle mode, working my corporate job, of like, put my blazer on. It barely fit under my winter jacket because it was like a fitted jacket and I wanted everything to look, business and good.
Yeah.
And I was all about that hustle, right? I was in
Mm.
sales. So it was like, you got to look good. You got to wear the heels. Like, and I've just gone to the completely other extreme this winter where I'm putting
Mm.
winter boots on. I've got my hood. I'm tucking it all in. I look like a little Eskimo. But then I step outside and then I take a deep breath. The first thing I do, I take a nice deep breath of the fresh air. And there's nothing better than that. The first thing in the day, like to start your day. And I almost always do the same walk when I want to walk near my home. It's just a
Yeah.
little trail.
Yeah.
Um, but so what happened is like maybe like 3 months ago, I was walking and I would always just walk the trail. And I was mindful during my walk, listening for birds, even just listening to the snow under my boots. I mean, I'm not putting earbuds in and listening to a podcast. I'm not putting music in my ears. I'm not doing any of that for a reason. Because the
Mm.
moment I do that, I go into that autopilot vibe. I
Yeah.
go into that, all right, like I'm listening to this podcast and I'm,
Yeah.
working on myself and inner growth. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for
Mm.
mindfulness in the moment and living in each step of my walk as it comes. So I really want to some mornings my mind is more chattery. I'll be walking and I'll be thinking of stuff from the day before, or I'll be
Yeah.
thinking about something I want to do later during the day. But there's something about the fresh air and hearing birds here and there and my feet, the noise that it makes in the snow and people that pass me by, I make sure to smile and say hello, even if some of them don't even lift their head because they're on their phone, right?
Yeah.
But I'm there and I'm with me. And it's just such a precious time for me.
Yeah.
So what elevated my experience is that one day I decided that I was going to go off the trail and get in the woods. So there's just a little patch of woods and there's
Yeah.
literally houses nearby and there's a school
Yeah.
nearby, crosswalk, but there's a little patch of woods. And I thought, I'm going to go in there. And it was a day where there was a fresh snowfall. It was beautiful. And I walked in the woods and I found a little area that was like open and
Okay.
it all had trees and it was like a little circle. And there's no footsteps in there. Nobody goes in there because it's literally a patch of woods between houses and a trail. Like
Yeah.
there's nowhere to go but in it and then back out, right? But I went in and I found this little place and it's been my sanctuary every single day. I go to that same little patch and I lay down. I lay in the snow with my snowsuit and I
Nice.
look up at the trees and I get the grounding because I don't know if
Mm.
you've ever heard of like earthing.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so a
so
little
it's
bit.
like
Yeah.
it's being outside bare feet in the grass, and
Mhm.
in the summertime, obviously, and going to
Yeah.
the beach and really being bare feet on the ground. I
Mhm.
can't do that in the winter, but the
Yeah.
closest thing I've found is to bundle up in a snowsuit and lay in
Mhm.
the snow.
Yeah.
And that's also called snow bathing.
Okay.
So it's actually a thing
Okay.
to lay in the snow, and you can bring a hot drink, like a hot beverage, and
Yeah.
like it keeps you warm. And you obviously just lay there until you start to get cold. But
Yeah.
most mornings I could lay there for 20, 30 minutes because I'm just so at peace.
Yeah.
And I ask myself in those moments, like, how do you want to feel today? I set intentions. I lay there
Mhm.
my whole walk. I've been mindful. And by the time I'm there, everything's just like a blank canvas. So I take that opportunity to say, how do I want to feel today? And I literally ask myself, like, how do you want to feel today? Like, some days I'm like, I want to feel safe because I'm
Mhm.
anxious and I don't feel safe. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to feel safe today. Or some days maybe it's, I want to feel confident because I have a presentation with a business today. I,
Mhm.
I ask myself how I want to feel. Then I ask myself, how do I want to show up today? I ask myself, what do I want to let go of? And then what do I want the outcome to be? Almost every day, what I want to let go of is things that I can't control.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think that's big with mindfulness, is that if you're trying to control things that you can't control, you'll never find that mindfulness. You'll never
Yeah.
find that stillness. You'll never find that surrender, right? Being
Mhm.
mindful is surrendering. And it's trusting the present moment and living in that moment as much as you can. So for me, my nature walks have been my grounding to get me there and to
Yeah.
stay there for however long I go for my walk. So some days I go for a long walk because once I'm there, I'm like, oh, like if
Yeah.
only I could be there all day. But I do take it with me through the day. Even when I come
Yeah.
back and as I'm teaching or going throughout my day, there's plenty of ways we can be mindful. You can be mindful when you make yourself a cup of tea,
Yeah.
right? You listen to the water when you're pouring it in the glass. You take your first sip and you embrace how lucky you are to have access to that,
Yeah.
easy access to a warm beverage. Like, it's about being grateful for me, but it's also about really living in the present. And, some days it's harder than others. Our
Mhm.
minds, how many
Yeah.
thoughts we think a day, right? I think someone
Yeah.
else said it in your podcast. It's like
Yeah.
60,000 or something.
Yeah.
Is it 60,000?
I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
It's a lot. It's like
Or
a crazy
6,000?
amount. I can't remember. It's like a really crazy amount. But
Yeah.
yeah, I loved like yeah, I was thinking, okay, gratitude is like a really big aspect. Like you kept kind of mentioning, I was grateful to, for these warm socks. And I feel like having gratitude is such a good part of being mindful as well. And actually, I have something, I guess I kind of started in the winter too. I didn't really, when you were saying this, I was like, oh, I kind of did that too, in a way. There's a journal I had bought, and it's like a 5-minute mindfulness journal. So you do
Hmm.
it in the morning and then in the evening when your day is done. And every now and then I skip it, but it's I'm pretty good with being consistent with it. And when I skip, I just start back the next day. But it has shifted how I started my day too. And I think that's been very impactful. You sharing your story. I'm like, yeah, like starting your day by doing mindfulness really helps set that tone for the day,
Hmm.
because before I would literally just wake up and start working. Like I would not, but now I usually take, it depends, 30 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. And I journal, I do that little mindfulness thing. Sometimes I'll do a meditation. So really I'm trying to get out of that habit of just start work right away and just kind of, because I have the time. Like, we think, oh, I'm such in a rush. I'm such in a rush. But we can get up, 30 minutes extra a day and just spend even like 10 minutes of being mindful, So, thank you for sharing that, what you do for mindfulness, because I think it's important to kind of share that, and because I think it's important for everyone to kind of incorporate that their practice into their daily routine. Um, what are some struggles that you mentioned maybe you miss a day or something like that. Same with me, like I miss a day. But what are other some struggles that you face in regards to being mindful?
So, like I said, for me, going outside is what has helped me get out of the struggles
Mm.
because I was trying to do like a morning meditation inside. Like that was
Okay.
my go to. I would go, it's funny, but I have like a walk in closet and I have it all set up. I have a little shrine in there and it's like ready to go. And for a while, I was going, like, I would get up and I would go directly in my walk in closet, lay on
Yeah.
the ground, and do my thing. But there was a lot of chatter, a lot of noise, and
Mm,
I'd like journal, but then next thing you know, I'd be on my phone and I would spend time in that closet, but it wasn't the same as when I go outside and when I go in that little nook in the woods.
mhm.
I don't have anything that just can distract me. My cat's not there because my cat
Yeah.
can distract me too because he's
Yeah.
so cute. He wants to come be mindful with me, but then I'm cuddling the cat and I'm
Yep.
I'm not. So for me just laying under the trees and staring up at the sky and the trees has really been my way to overcome the struggle. And for me,
Mm.
definitely the struggle has always been to meditate indoors. Like it's really hard for me to meditate indoors. I can put gentle music. I can get into it, but it's more like here and there that it works. And
Yeah.
most times I find that I'm forcing it too much.
Mm.
So for me, going outside has really just been a game changer. But obviously, other struggles would be, when I was in hustle mode before my
Mhm.
burnout, before I got sick, it
Yeah.
was getting up in the morning and not taking that time for me. It was literally just get up, like you said, get ready. I wasn't even having breakfast half the time. I was making myself
Mm.
a smoothie on the go.
Yeah.
And it was just like my mind was just already at the office before I even left my house.
Mhm.
And I think if back then, if I knew what I know now, if I would have been getting up an hour or even two
Mhm.
hours, like even 2 hours before my shift to give myself that time to get outside. And it's
Mhm.
literally, some mornings I'm like, oh, it's going to be cold, but I don't even think about it. I get bundled
Mm.
up and I just get out there. And once I'm there, it's a game changer for me.
Nice. Yeah. I like especially too that the nature aspect of it. I think it really does pull you away from all those distractions like your phone or like I think of myself, I'm distracted by like mess in my house or if the dishes aren't clean, like I'm
Yeah.
constantly thinking that. So I really like that. Like for me, it's harder in the winter because I mean, I've lived here now over 17 years, so I think I'm used to the cold, but I like the warm weather. I'm with you. I'm a summertime
But
girl,
try
so
it. Try really,
I'm gonna try
really
that.
bundle up. Like when I say bundle up, like I'm wearing a snowsuit with
Okay, yeah.
underneath, I'm wearing a full sweatsuit.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way I'll be cold when I go out there. And it's almost like rewarding too to show yourself that no matter what weather there is out there, that you're
Mm,
equipped for it and to
yeah.
get dressed anyways. Like even if it's raining, I go. And I've had really nice mindful mornings in the rain. Like
Okay.
in my tree
Oh,
sanctuary with the
yeah.
raindrops going like it's
Okay.
it's just you have to try it. You have to try it and tell me your experience. Like
Okay.
I'm going to go out tomorrow. It's going to be freezing rain and I'll be sliding down that trail and getting myself in. And I've done that. Like
Wow.
I actually did a little post on Facebook the last time and I posted
Nice.
all these beautiful pictures of like the frozen trees and like nature's so beautiful even when it's frozen. And
Mm.
I was like in my little nook and it sounded like it was raining, but it wasn't raining. It was the ice melting off all the branches.
Okay, yeah.
And it was so peaceful. And I thought to myself, if I didn't get out here, regardless of what I saw out the window when I woke up in the morning, if I didn't just step out of my comfort zone and step outside, I would miss that beauty and I would miss those moments that most people don't see.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not a lot of people that get to see those beautiful moments because we think, oh, freezing rain, yuck, I'm
Yeah.
not
Stay
leaving my
inside.
house all day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
get dressed for it and it's
Cool.
something to see. It's
That's
beautiful.
nice. Nice. Awesome. Um, so yeah, you talked about struggles, and I think we talked about, of course, some positive things um in regards to mindfulness. Um, because I think you've said lots of positive things already, but is there anything else you could share in regards to maybe positive things you have learned from being mindful or that has taught you about your wellness?
Yeah, it's taught me that if I take the time for me and I just really like no headphones, no electronics, no
Mm.
nothing. For me, nature forces me into that. For some other people, they can probably do it in their room when they get up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I really need that element of being outdoors. But the moment that I started to quiet my surroundings and the atmosphere around me got more quiet, then my thoughts get more quiet. They're
Mm.
still there, and I don't think mindfulness is about eliminating your
Right.
thoughts or having a mind that's completely blank. Like I think it's about nurturing the thoughts that are there and like
Mm.
actually hearing them and being there with them and accepting them and forgiving yourself for the thoughts that maybe aren't so positive
Yeah.
instead of being hard on yourself. And when I'm in my nature walk mode, I'm able to do that much better. Like I'll say something or think something. There'll be that little voice in my head that'll say something that normally would create a lot of anxiety or make me
Yeah.
feel down on myself. But then there's enough quiet and enough stillness that I can kind of be like, oh, like I'm nurturing that inner child in that moment. Instead of being
Mm.
hard on it, I'm like there with that thought. And I'm thinking, like, it's okay that you have these thoughts. Like, you're human. It's a known fact that like 90% of our thoughts are negative,
Yeah.
right? So if we can learn to like nurture that
Mm.
instead of try to push away from it, accept it. Try to
Yeah.
just see it for what it is, that it doesn't mean that what you're telling yourself is true, right? Like it's just learning to hear it and be like, okay, like, I'm being hard on myself right now, but let's not be harder on myself by being hard on myself about being hard on myself.
And it's
So,
learning to let it go too. Like let it come
yes.
in and then, okay, all right, sure. And then let it
And
go, right?
sometimes I dig deeper. Sometimes it's like, well, why am I
Mm.
saying that mean thing to myself right now?
Yeah.
Did something happen recently that could have triggered that? Sometimes I try to like dig around to see what, and then I rationalize. I'm like, oh yeah, well, this happened to you yesterday. Of course, it's normal that you would feel like that. And
Yeah.
it's just time with myself to like just reassure myself, nurture myself, and like
Mhm.
embrace the craziness that goes on in our brains because we all
Yeah.
have it. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I'm aware of it. Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy because it does make us feel insane sometimes
Yeah.
when you're so aware. But I'm
Yeah.
grateful to be aware because it's much better to be aware of these thoughts and to sit with them and nurture them than to like be completely unaware and just on autopilot. And
Yeah.
that builds up, and that's when disease happens. And, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah. And it's about finding too what works for you because like you said you struggled with doing meditations inside, but when you go outside you can really focus on that meditation. And again, like that sounds amazing. Um but I know it may not work for everyone as well. Like if they have access, like if they live like really, really in the city, they might not be able to go to that kind of place all the
but you don't
time. But
even you don't even need to go for a walk. Like just to get
mm,
outside, even just on your patio. You could
yeah,
journal out there, right? You could
yeah,
have a chair out there. And even in the winter, you could have a chair out there. You put your snowsuit, you could just go out there and have your coffee or
yeah,
it's just or maybe it's in front of a fireplace in your house.
mm,
Maybe it's not outside. But
yeah,
it's to really schedule that time for you every morning before you
mhm,
even start the day. Because when I
yeah,
skip that, I feel it now, right? I don't
yeah,
even know how I was functioning all those years without it. I have no idea.
yeah, yeah. It definitely makes a difference. And I don't know. I was on some call and a lady mentioned that she had changed her like structure of her day and I think took like 2 hours. Her first 2 hours of the morning was
Mm.
spent on mindfulness or like journaling or meditating, or it was all like self-care for her.
Yep.
And she said, it made my workday flow so much better. She's like, I was more productive because I took those 2 hours for myself. And then, yeah, like, and I don't think she like overworked herself or anything like that, but because she took those 2 hours kind of what I was mentioning to you earlier before, that 80% mindset, 20% action kind of thing. Like it makes me think of that again. That's another conversation. Sorry. But
Little
but,
teaser.
but yeah, just really focusing on our mindfulness, our mindset for that day, and just allowing that space for ourselves to
And
heal even.
setting the intentions, and maybe your intentions are that today at work, I'm going to be mindful for others. If I see someone else that's
Mm.
really struggling and not present and like stressed, I'll I'll keep that calm on my side so that maybe my energy can rub off on them and help them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see other people, and that can disrupt your own peace. If someone
Mhm.
else is in a tornado of a situation,
That's true.
in their own mind, the best thing you can do most times is just be silent, be
Yeah.
still, be there with them. And a lot of times they'll notice that they just went off and they'll be like, I'm
Ooh.
sorry. Because if you're quiet enough and you stay still, the
Mhm.
other person's going to hear, they're going to become mindful too, right? They're going to become aware of how they're reacting. And
Yeah. I wrote that. I forgot to say it, but I wrote mindfulness allows us to stay still because you said stay still. So I was like, oh, yeah. And listen,
yes.
right? Listen within. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. Well, we are at our time for today. That went by so fast.
It did.
Like, wow. Today was just it flew by. But I want to thank our guests for joining us today for this episode. And I want to thank everyone who tunes into this episode. Um, I like to end with our guest sharing with us something maybe exciting that's going in your life or anything that you would like to promote.
Sure. Well, obviously, I'd like to promote my yoga at the workplace.
Yes.
So if you work somewheres and you feel that you would like to have me come and help bring some zen and relaxation and calm to your day every day or one day of the week or 2 days during the week, reach out to me. You can contact me. Are you sharing our contact information in the?
Yes, I was going to mention that. I'll put your socials and your contact information in the description for this episode. So if you want to contact Christine, you can do so. So yeah, I'll definitely put that in there.
And for classes for pole and like aerial classes too, I take private lessons. Like I teach
Mhm.
privately from home in this little studio.
Yes.
So if you've never done aerial dance and it's something that you'd like to try, but you're shy to try it in a group setting, it can be really nice to come just yourself, like a one-on-one. Or if you want, you can come. I take semi-privates as well. So 2 people at a time. The most I've taken is 3.
Okay,
But yeah, because I have 2 poles here and then I have one in the garage with a higher ceiling. So
cool.
yeah, or
Awesome.
if you're
Oh,
looking for performance, like if you have an event coming up and you're looking for something really different, an aerial performance, I'm up for hire for aerial performances as well.
cool. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Christine, for being on today's episode. And anyone who tunes in, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share with others. And yeah, hope you enjoyed today's episode. And thanks again. And until next time,
Thanks for having me.
see ya.
Yeah.